Hi guys, welcome to this review and build. We're going to do actually a full build of this Zimi model US weapon loading cart. Doesn't mean much, does it? For once, the box art is actually relevant. There's a picture of stuff on here, and when you flick this over, oh my gosh, it's like an entirely different box art with the outline of a US Navy carrier there and these two things. So it's actually like two kits in one. And I think this is a bit confusing because basically you've only got two bomb carts which would be relevant for US Navy applications, and the rest of it would be land-based stuff on Air Forces. So what we're going to be building is stuff that's illustrated here, MHUs, mechanical handling units. Hopefully there's somebody out there that knows a little bit about these. But inside the box, what do we get? Really big leaflet and sprues. 1, 2, stickers and PE. The instructions is a full colour booklet, and it's got loads of painting guides. Now I think this equipment, and why am I choosing to build this? This is of relevance to people who maybe want to do aircraft dioramas, but I have a nostalgia. I think Esky did a kit with one of these units in it, and that's what sort of attracted me to it. And also I wanted to sort of see if this is sort of difficult to build or otherwise, and it's a little bit fun, a little bit different. There's only two paint schemes, but I think these things go back to like Vietnam era, so they could have even been yellow or whatever, but whatever. There's all this stuff to go through. Let's worry about that as we go through the build. Okay, here's the first sprue. It says MHU-191 Munitions Rock. Obviously it means truck, doesn't it? There's one of these sprues. What I noticed is there's all these big gaps here, as if they were going to do more, but they decided to just basically bring it down. There's loads of detail, but I'll show that stuff later on. In terms of parts, I don't think there's too many. I don't think there's too much to worry about. Everything's clean, flash-free, looks kind of nice, and you can already see the basic layout of these little vehicles. In the second bag, 4 loose pieces that obviously must be the carts, and then you've got 2 identical sprues thus. These are the wheels and the racks and everything. What is this called? It's also a Le Roc, but yeah, everything looks kind of nice. So there's a lot of finesse on all the parts. Looks kind of good. Finally, there's this PE detail. Some of it looks kind of small. We'll find out where it goes. Other stuff looks like grills and bits and pieces. We'll find out where everything fits on. And also we've got some stickers. So let's start this build off. Okay, so from the montage you saw assembly of the MHU-83. Of course, I should have explained these are ordnance handling equipment, they're bomb loaders basically, but I think you guys knew that anyways. Now, I don't know if the montage showed it so well, but you need to look after your cleanups basically on this particular little kit. There's going to be a lot of, oh, it's like Kitty Hawk, it's not very good, it's not this, it's not that. It's excellent, it really is. This is really a nice little kit in many ways. The detail on it is very impressive. As you can see, I did replace the plastic supplied actuators, the handles that were supplied. It's just limitations of plastic injection molding. And also have a look at the box art as well. There's a lot of cables that come out here. One thing that I've noticed is, okay, throughout the instructions it's telling you not to glue, not to do that, because these articulate. So you've got the outrigger legs, and these are like difficult to clean up. It's a bit of a shame. I was debating with myself whether to remove all the bolt detail and sand them flush, but I'm not going to. So one part of the instruction makes these outriggers movable, so if you want to deploy it with the legs outwards, you can do that. If not, you can just simply glue them flush to the vehicle and it will be fine, I suppose. So this part moves, and when you assemble it, you're going to see that there is actually, like, there's 4 of these linkages supplied, but these are the same length as those ones. I thought I might have made a mistake, but I haven't. And when you build it, it'll end up with whatever payload you have basically up in the air. And the only way that you could rectify that is to cut off these linkage rods and replace them with a separate length. So a longer length would drop that down, and that would be something to do. But in terms of workable, you know, it's just like a gimmick. And what you really want to do is get it into where you want to pose it. So I'm kind of surprised. I thought that these would have been in a lowered position because, I don't know, hopefully there's somebody who knows a lot more about this equipment, but I think this is the more modern loader, and it is really designed to get underneath aircraft into their bomb base. I've left quite a lot of the parts separate in order to ease the painting operation. And what I'm going to do now is another montage sequence. We'll build up a trailer and we'll build up one of the Navy bomb handling carts or ordnance handling carts, and be right back. Okay, so we have wrapped up the construction. Here is one of the trailers, an MHU-141, and this one I assembled basically in the configuration which would have air-to-air missiles or maybe anti-radiation missiles. You see the unique features of this trailer. It has an open bay, that's to enable the jammers to come up underneath to take weapons off of here. So I assembled that. This is easy except for the very fine attachment points here. There's nothing really positive. Make sure you line up everything, square it all off. So that's version 1, and then I assembled this off camera, which is a normal like flatbed trailer, exactly the same thing. So you have the option inside the kit to assemble 2 of these or 2 of these or 1 each, like exactly what I've done. The only thing that I've left off at the moment is the hook and the wheels. Well, I've done one after painting. And then the Navy bomb carts, well, I'm going to call them that, MHU-191s. Now this one is configured to carry obviously a bomb of whatever diameter, I'm guessing like a 500 pounder or something. And on the last clip, yes, you do get these PE details, and these are meant to represent the straps that hold the weapons down inside there. I didn't see any need to add them on, and they look very fiddly. Trying to bend this round as the strap, I would be inclined not to do that. These are very delicate, by the way. The attachment points on the wheels are very fine, but again, really nice detail, and you know, great little accessory for a carrier type diorama, I suppose. And this one I assembled off camera, which is one that will be holding, again, air-to-air missiles. So one bomb holder, one bomb carrier, I suppose, one missile holder. Just go back to one thing. I think this is one, I'm going to point this out now before I forget, that in terms of these carts here, you haven't got the other configuration, I suppose, to hold bombs on. I wonder if they should have included that, but regardless. Then the other thing that I assembled off camera is the MJ1, the original jammer. And this one was actually trickier to assemble than the other one. This one, I've actually used the supplied plastic control levers, etc. This mechanism here, it moves a little bit, but of course, because there's plastic bracing inside, and that was the real difficulty. This plastic bracing inside here was very difficult to fit in my case. I did manage to get it to go on, but not exactly great. I had a little bit of problems with the alignment as well, but this vehicle, I really prefer it. I think this is the old vehicle that even goes back to Vietnam, as I sort of mentioned, maybe even earlier, who knows. But I really like the look of this one. And you can see it's got a different type of, what we call it, support tray, I suppose, for the weapons when it's loaded. But that was really fun. It was fun to build, but a little bit tricky. Yeah, in particular getting these portions out here. So again, they had the idea that this thing is meant to move, but in reality it can't. So what I'll do now is paint them and apply the decals, and then I'll go through my final thoughts and opinions on these models. Okay, with all that work completed, I'm going to show you each of the models in detail. And with the weathering, I sort of did the dry brush technique, the old school way of weathering, just to sort of pop the details and just give you a good indication of like how the details pop out on these little models. So I'll start off with this, the olive drab, just basic flat cart. I think the detail is absolutely excellent in terms of these D-rings and pieces like that. The texture on here is really good, showed up really nicely. Everything lines up quite well. And the second one, just showing you here, obviously this isn't included, but a Sparrow, just to sort of show you how air weapons would be basically transported within this trailer. I really like the look of this one, the open one. Really good detail overall, like I already mentioned. Show you a macro now so you can really get a better appreciation. Wheel detailing's really quite nice. There's no tread patterns or anything like that. In this scale you don't really need it. There we go, the underneath of the thing is actually detailed. Okay, next, the Navy or carrier trailers. So the first one is the air-to-air variant, and this one I didn't place all the PE like I mentioned, but even without it, it looks pretty good. Nice little accessory for carrier-based diorama, I suppose. And this is the other trailer. This one has configuration to maneuver bombs. Okay, here's the MHU-83, the more modern type of bomb jammer. And one thing I'm sort of noticing with these forklift tillers, I haven't seen that on these bomb jammers before, because the weapon gets loaded up on this platform here, which is a jacking platform. But maybe somebody out there knows what they use the forks for. I did deliberately paint the wheels green just to create a bit of contrast. I forgot to paint the piston on the hydraulic cylinder, but whatever. Again, shows up quite nicely with the dry brushing. Okay, here's the MJ1B. This is my favourite. This one. And this is how a weapon would be stored, or like so. It's getting loaded or carried across the aircraft. Very cute. Again, really nice detail. Really pops out with the dry brush. I really like all the PE detail on this particular model. Okay, so in terms of review, let's get the score together for what I think from this Zimi Models US weapon loading cart set. In terms of value, for me, this was excellent value. I got this for the equivalent of about $12. It seemed to be heavily discounted. Assembly, really no problems at all. Everything fits, everything works out. It is a little bit tricky. I would say the level, you need some experience because there's photo etch involved. These were particularly finicky as well. Be careful with your alignments, like I mentioned, but there's no assembly problems. Everything fits, so I'm giving that like a 9 out of 10. Detail overall, excellent. Really good. In particular, like I mentioned, having stuff like PE grills really supplements the detail on these models. Everything works out well. There's enough detail on the dash, on everything, to make them look absolutely great, to be honest. Drawback though, there's no clear parts. Well, okay, I'm being picky, but let's be honest as well. So the lights are non-transparent plastic, so you end up painting them. The other thing, of course, you could do is just drill them out and add in resin, so I'd recommend doing that. Instructions overall really good. There isn't any confusion inside here. Some people might say, well, why is it all in Chinese? But everything's going in pictograms, and there is English call outs here to, you know, call your attention to different things. There's nothing wrong really with these instructions whatsoever. Maybe this part here, I think with the PE was a bit over the top. Okay, water stickers. The water stickers went down great, or well, you call them decals, but I call them water stickers. They went down great, they work really well, there is lots of them, they really included as much detail as you probably need. One small disadvantage, well, even if it is that, in terms of these little carrier-borne carts here, there isn't enough water stickers for both of the trolleys, and in terms of the instructions, and I only noticed this, like you notice things when you're building it, they actually only include this one, the missile carrier for the MHU-191. They didn't include the other version, and really what is missing is just all these little yellow stickers here, high visibility points. It's very, very minor. So overall, like, I'm really pleased. I think it's excellent, and it really, really would make a nice addition to a diorama. So thoroughly recommended from me. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the review. If you want to see more like that, and you want to see more content in terms of me talking, join us on Patreon, where I have weekly vlogs explaining exactly what I'm doing. In the meantime, see you in the next video.